All right, folks, we got maybe an hour that we can do some work on our project here and bring you guys along with me. So what you guys didn't see this morning was yesterday we were picking out what nights were guys here, and I had this is the night for the Scottish nights. And these are the two guys that I primered this morning. That's all I had time to do this morning was just to primer these two guys. So that's it. That's two of the guys. Now, why I didn't do the third guy? Well, the third guy is we took this lance out and we're going to put a new lance in. But the issue is that the my pin vise is the smallest drill bit I own. Is this one right here, which is exactly the same size as this needs to be. So I didn't want to do that. I was going to booger up his hand, but I decided I got what I ordered, arrived exactly at the perfect time, which is this right here. Okay, so we're not gonna do a separate unboxing video. We're just gonna do this live and see what we have here. Hopefully it's not disappointment, but I want to get a set of drill bits that were smaller because this is the smallest one that I have. And what I'd like to do is drill like a pilot hole and then enlarge it as I go instead of, but we're gonna go ahead and unbox this. This came from good old Amazon. Now to show you how much I like Amazon and dislike the Postal Service, my nights were on 2-day priority mail. They were mailed on the 2nd, so they should have gotten here on the 4th. They didn't. They got here on like the 6th, or maybe even the 7th. They arrived on Monday, so whatever Monday was. So, you know, just incompetent post office. This from Amazon was supposed to arrive on Friday and it came a day early. So I don't like anything that comes from the Postal Service because they just seem to be incompetent. So let's open this up and see what we have here. That's my Postal Service rant. Competition makes people competent, right? Here we go, micro box. Now I'm sure these are some product of China, but there's really no way to get around that. This was only like $8, and we'll see what we got here. All right, so this comes with all kinds of 0.3, a 0.35, a 0.4. It's listed here of what sizes are on it. So everything from a 0.3, 0.35, so 0.3, 0.3, 0.35, 0.4, 0.45, 0.5, 0.55, basically every half all the way to 1.5. So there is a ton here. It's 20 pieces. And I'm glad they come in this carrying box because what I've been using is, of course, I don't have that many drill bits, but I've been using a little mat box. And just to give you an idea of what I have here, these are the sizes that I've collected in the past. Hey, Kevin, how you doing? Thanks for joining me. These are the sizes that I have. So the one that's in the pin vise now is the smallest one. So pin vise now is the smallest one. So hopefully, this was just kind of on a whim. If I can figure out how to open this thing and not spill them all over the place. Let's see. Be very careful. Geez, I wasn't expecting these kind of challenges when I wasn't at work anymore. All right, let's take my glasses off so I can see what the hell I'm doing. This show's called Let's Watch Tony Make an Ass of Himself. It's happened before. This hasn't happened on live. Maybe being in this container isn't the best thing. All right. We took these out. All right. We've got ones that are too big, but that's fine because what we have here, because I wanted a variety of them. What we have here is this one's probably equivalent to like a 0.85. So let's take this off. You know what? We're going to leave this on because for some reason I've got multiple pin vices. I don't know how the heck that happened. because at least I think I do. Well, these double as one, so I'd like to keep the size that eventually will be on there. These things are worth a damn. There's only like $8, so let's take the very smallest one first. You should do this backwards. That one's got a chuck on it. Doesn't get any smaller. Let's put this one here. We'll leave that other size out. It's kind of flimsy. Let's make sure we got enough meat on this thing. There were several of these brands to choose from on Amazon, and every one of them had the same description. Useful on hobby this and hobby that, and so heck, they might have all been probably manufactured in the same company. All right, so we're going to cut this flush, and then we're going to proceed to drill on here. I had mentioned on these nights that someone I knew had provided some information on some knights that had accompanied Edward the Bruce. And because I had a hell of a time trying to find any information on any of that stuff. A lot of them referred to a poem called The Bruce, which is written in like Old English or whatever, and you can't make heads or tails out of it. All right, we got a pilot hole there. Now we can go up a little bit bigger. Well, it didn't break. Let's go to one. Let's go to one of these. Let's go to this one. But I did come across another place. I found a couple other knights that served with him. And when we're done with this task, I'll show you what that is. And found it kind of in a, not really an unusual source, but I hadn't really expected to find it there. Okay, this one's almost got too much meat. Let's go down one size. And this won't take that long. The next time we do it, we'll know what size drill bits to use for this, but this is just all right. But we'll do that next. And I still haven't decided who's who. So Edward the Bruce's heraldry is pretty boring. So it's kind of unusual that the head guy is going to, generally whoever has the most interesting or complicated heraldry is the guy in charge. So that's kind of going to be the exception here. So go far, so good. And some people are thinking, this is a pain in the ass replacing these. Well, that may be, but you only get the pain in the ass one time. Because after this, you don't have to worry about this thing anymore. Geez, when's this thing going to end? So we're probably going to have to use a thinner lance than we would on, say, the pikes for the Scots. So it might take a little bit of time finding the correct one. But my Scots pikemen, I don't think that their lance, that same pen is going to work in here. So, geez. Well, I know what the problem is. The problem is that the back side of this, thing is thicker, and this is the part where there was some of the old part of the lance that I took off. Now, let's go back to this again. Yeah, it hasn't gone very far. So I wanted to make sure that I picked guys that rode along with him, whose heraldry didn't really overshadow Edward's heraldry very much. Okay, so you were just being obstinate, aren't you? All right, let's try this. Where was the other one? This one. Let's try putting it in now. Now we've got a very defined. This is the one that we've got a very defined this up. And it's not consistent through manufacturer. For instance, the figures for the Normans that Old Glory makes, the lances that come with them are very thick and they're very rugged looking. They almost look like they came right off of a tree. They're almost like rough hewn. Those are the first Old Glory figures I ever had because I built my feudal Spanish using the Normans, and I thought that was kind of the standard, but it's not wanting to come all the way through. All right. Well, we had adversity the first time we drilled the Scots pikes, and we got through that just fine. Let's have a motivational cocktail. My first one of the day. That's Coke Zero for those of you that do not know. Try not to put a ton of pressure on here because I really don't want to pop this guy's. And I just don't know what it's going to take. Not doing a good job of selling this, am I? It looks like it's about to pop out, so let's keep plugging along. What's more fun than watching paint dry? Drilling lances. I don't know what the issue is. Well, I know one of the issues is we don't need to have the fan too. All right. Hey, stuff like this happens, even to me. So it just doesn't seem like it's biting at all. Oh, this one works. Let's go back to the good old Maybe that's why I got drill bits that with bad teeth. There we go. There's some lead coming through there. Come on, you can do it. I haven't given up yet. There we go. I haven't given up yet, and that's why it just finally says, ah, fuck it, Tony, I give up. And it works. There we have it. Okay, perfect. So use these cheap, made in China drill bits to do the pilot hole, but the rest of the way we'll use the other thing. Okay, that'll work. Now that I know what the recipe is. Anyhow. Okay, so we've got that going all the way through. Let's find where the hell the pins are. I'm sure somebody had some interesting comments for that. Just checking in to see that you're doing everything correctly. Oh, be quiet. Don't you have beer to drink over there? I hate drilling out 28 millimeter minis. I can't imagine 15. It's not bad. Look, stupid pewter bastard 0. Hey, you just gotta be patient, you know? So let's just go ahead and use the same pen. Now these things are, some people are like, well, why do you use pins that you don't use the plastic things? Well, because I've always used pins. Okay, and we're gonna file them down. And these are dirt cheap. I got 40 of these 2-inch size pins from the craft store. And after the 40% discount, they were $2.56 US. So you can't beat that. So we're gonna make sure we use one that's big enough. And it comes in as really when I'm done with it. Okay, so all we're gonna do is find our little tool here. I've got more tools than I've ever had. It's kind of cool. Well, the sooner I buy them all, the sooner I can use them, right? No point in buying all your tools when you're 70. Okay, that's done. All right, put that thing away. There is baby right here. Overkill. There we go, done. Now, for good measure, because this thing tends to have burrs, and I don't want to be committing Harry Carey on film. Let's get the other side too. All right. See what we're dealing with now. Now I can always cut the back side down some if I'm all about the flags. I wouldn't make it any smaller. I think this is the right size. So now what we're going to do is, I don't like flags that are just kind of floating around the middle of nowhere. I like them to be just grabbing it in the middle of nowhere. I'm going to rest it on his foot. So to do that, we're actually going to, let's see where it falls, and then we're going to drill a little bit on his foot so that it has a natural resting place. So we could just do it right there. And we don't have to go in very deep. Just somewhere that this can rest. And maybe put a dollop of epoxy there for it to sit. Don't go all the way through his foot. Okay. Don't go all the way through his foot. As I go through his foot. No, I didn't go through his foot. But let's make sure the bottom of his feet are okay. This is why I wanted to do this without mounting the guy yet. So. Okay. I'm not sure how big the flag is going to be. I haven't printed it out yet, but this gives me lots of room to work with it. Okay, and I don't think it's too tall for what I like. So, all right. So let's get out our. Well, do we still have a little piece of cardboard that we use? Because if we've got one that we can, here it is. the stinky stuff. Well, I don't have to use very much. I just have to put the figure, I have to glue the figure down and then put him on his horse. So, all right, let's see what we got here. Seems Edward's device is a red chevron on a white field. Yes, that is his device that's going to be on him, but we're going to use a different device for on the flag. So, but yes, that's what's going to, it's extremely plain. That's the, he was named Earl of Carrick. And that is the symbol for the earldom of Carrick. So that is what he's going to be carrying. He's going to be on a white, a horse that has white sheets on it. I know it's called caparisoned or something. It's just such a weird, word. On a white caparisoned horse. Obviously, the horse will not be a light colored horse because then he won't stand out. It's probably going to be some form of a brown horse, and it'll all be white except the chevron. We'll have a chevron on the back. We'll have 4 chevrons on the horse, and then the back of him and the front of him and his shield will be emblazoned with all of those. I might decide to do the shield with the same thing that's on the flag. And the flag was given to me by another friend that found it on a different site. So the flag's cool. The flag is cool. So, and it is not the traditional Scottish red and yellow type thing. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's not that one. Okay, so what we want to do is we're going to put, this is 5-minute epoxy. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and set this here and get this glued nice, and then we'll put him on the horse at the last minute, because we don't want this guy to shift and everything. It might actually weigh a little bit, and he might want to tilt over to this side. We don't want any of that nonsense. So we put some a little bit at the top. Let's push it through. And have the rest of it go down here at the bottom. Okay, let's use something else to attach it. We're going to take another little dollop. We're going to put it around the top here. Dollop's the wrong word, but same thing down here at the bottom. And this should be good as gold when it's time to glue them on there. Now let's see how he is for balance. These are actually a lot more bow-legged than the particular horse. The horse is actually kind of narrow there, so we're going to wait a little bit. We're going to do some jibber jabber here while this sets for a little bit. And I don't want to open up the book because I'll get sidetracked, get all excited about what's in there, and then the next thing you know, that'll dry out and have to get some more. But I will go ahead and grab it. We're just not going to go to the page just yet. Just another minute or so. Let that set a little bit, and that way we'll have a better bond. But yeah, his device is very boring for, guy who's going to be leading the army. So I want to make sure the other 2 guys that are with him, they don't outdo him. So, oh, that's the one that works. And besides, that all comes out. That comes all out. If you're really worried about it, it's not. It's actually this is a Western. This is a Western drill with epoxy. Works better than some Chinese drill without anything on it. So, but you know what? They did what they wanted to. It cost $8. I've got all kinds of different ones, and I'll probably never have to buy another one again. I wanted to do a pilot hole because what I was doing is it was very hard to center this right in the middle. We wanted to make sure that that we didn't overshoot it. Okay, this is getting gummier. All right, let's apply it with a drill again just to piss you off. How about that? Now this stuff comes right off. Look, there's paint on there, and I take the paint right off because this is the same one that I use for clearing out the top of the Vallejo bottles when they want to be obstinate. Let's get a little bit more on there. Okay. All right. Let's clean it off so you don't have a cow. Oh man, I love it. Kelly Davis. I forgot. Where are you at? Are you in Europe, Kelly, or are you over here in the States? I feel like you've told me, but I don't listen. Kelly, ain't that some kind of girl's name? I had a coworker whose name was Stacy, and I always used to say that to him. That's a girl's name. Okay. We're going to have to baby this guy because we don't want him to set and he's sitting over at a 15-degree angle. You could be sitting over a little bit. Sometimes horses don't fit right. The shield gets in the way, and I'll show you an example. And it's actually with Eddie. I got Eddie's shield as close as he could get to the horse, but if you look at the back, it looks like he's striking at an angle and about to fall off his horse. But it works. You can't, it's not a perfect thing. So let's make sure this guy is where he needs to be. All my life have been burdened with Michigan. Okay. Man, I wish I had Michigan weather right now. It's been hot as crap. All my life been burdened with a girl's name. Yeah. You can always go by your middle name. Unless it's Samantha. I guess you could, but... Okay. So let's put these little guys away. And let's wipe this epoxy off, make you feel better. I'm actually pretty rough with that drill bit, and it's always comes through. It's these damn Chinese drill bit. It's the ones that made in Michigan that are good, like that first one. Not these, I'm sure they're Chinese. Okay, I don't have a problem with them. I wish it would just came from Taiwan instead of the other China. Okay, so there we have it. We're going to let him sit for a little bit. All right. So where did I find other things for other shield ideas? What was it? Shield ideas. There's plenty of shield ideas. I wanted to get guys that went with Edward the Bruce to Ireland. And in the Bannockburn book, let's move this guy off to the side because we don't want to knock him over and we don't want to get any of this goo on the book. Okay, because I'm pretty anal retentive when it comes to books. So, if you look at the back, there's an area that has all the sheep for the English, and it also has the ones for the Scots. And that is these guys right here. Interestingly enough, here's Robert. Of course, this is Bannockburn, where some of the people went on to the year. This is in 1314. So the next year is when they went to Ireland with Edward. Okay, so here's Edward. Of course, these are all in black and white. You can find them. So, okay. Here's Robert. I know Robert went with him as well, but we don't want him on the stand because we can put him when he's actually leading a Scots common army. Okay, we don't need to bring him to Ireland. He can stay his ass up here. Anyhow, so here's the name of some folks. So I looked them up. This guy here, Alexander Seton, or it's actually sometimes it's because they're Scottish, but they're Anglo-Norman. Some of these guys, this is Alexander de Seton, and he is actually a guy who I don't have my notes with me, so I'm kind of ad-libbing this. He's actually a guy that went with him to Ireland and died in Ireland. Well, that's a perfect candidate to be on the stand because Edward died over there. Okay, and I don't remember. And one of the other characters that was given to me, here's this. Thomas Randolph is one of them. These are actually yellow and red with pillows. Okay, and this one's also yellow and red. It's a red background with a yellow stripe with red crescents, with the little red crescent moons. So pretty sure we're going to do him. I don't know if we're going to do this one because that's kind of complicated. And remember, Edwards is really simple, so we don't want to overpower him. But we've got another guy, I think, that we're going to do. But that's what I did. I just started looking these guys up, and all the references are in this poem called "The Bruce." But the problem is, the Bruce is written in a. It makes Shakespeare seem easy to understand. So that wasn't very helpful. But this guy went with him and died with him, and this guy. So these are definitely the two. And one of them is going to be, this looks like probably the guy I'm going to use as the banner bearer. Okay, because the other guy, the banner, let's see, can I even do that? No, I can't do it because I'm on my phone. But you guys will see it soon enough. It's it's not in this book, is it? I'm going to take a gander here and look what I found in the book. How many times I've looked at it. Um, these books, these operating books are really good, but they're getting options of how I think that things might look, so you can make a decision on what they're actually uh, looking like. So let's see. There's not a picture of his. No. So it's really cool. Is this it? No, that's not it either. I'll have to put. You guys will see it soon enough. I've got it, but Greg was nice enough to send that over to me. It was off the Bannockburn site, um, Edward, and it involves a lion, but it's blue and white. It's blue and white. It's a blue and white lion. So I don't want to put that on a guy that also has a lion as a motif on his shield. So it's probably going to be the guy that is the red and white, the red and yellow guy there. So that's more than likely what I'm going to do. Now, whether he ever carried a banner for him, that information just isn't there. So this guy's going to be on one side. I want the banner towards the center of the stand so it doesn't clip other things. We'll put Eddie in the middle here. And this guy on the other side, because this guy's kind of looking off to the side anyway, so they should fit on there just fine. Now, why did I decide to do the knights next? Well, they came in, and I started working on the Light Horse General, but General stand, these two figures. I've got the horse already painted, but the problem is the damn banner from Little Big Man Studios still isn't here that I'm going to use. So. I don't want to do all the rest of the. I don't, so it may be really big, it may be really small. I don't want to put this type of a flag that comes in. So anyhow, that's my spiel. All right, let's see. My X-Acto blades go through hell. Glue, paint, flame. The other day, I put a new X-Acto blade in, which is unusual for me. I usually run them to hell. And the very first thing that happens is it for that kind of detail stuff. So you'd notice that if your stream stops, I have to restart. It cuts in with an ad first. I don't know. It's just for extra Germans. You guys are still paying reparations. I don't know why that is. I don't know why it is, John Peter. I am not. I am technology challenged. It's amazing I'm able to even do this because I try things, and if it doesn't work, just like I'm persistent with doing this drill bit and stuff like that, and painting and taking forever to paint, I'm not very persistent when it comes to technology. If something doesn't work, like technology-wise, I just give up. Especially I start looking for answers and nobody can give you an answer, and stuff will work one time and then it won't work again. It may be just a Monday through Friday thing, because it seems like on the weekends nobody complains about it cutting off. So the good news is my streams on the weekend are going to be a lot longer than Monday through Friday because I'm working. So or I was working. So. It's now 7:30 in the afternoon. So, all right, we want to make sure this guy's dry enough, and then we will base him because that's what we want to do. And this is 5-minute epoxy, but we want to make sure he's set. He's set good enough. Issue that I had this morning, and that is priming him. And I don't like to use enamel paint normally, so you'll get to see me use enamel paint. Yay, how exciting. All right, this is the thinner that I use only for the black. As you can see, I've used it quite a bit. And I dropped one in of my Army Painter mixing balls. Can you hear it? And the answer is no, you can't, and neither can I. So this stuff is so goopy that for whatever reason, chasm of black, you drop it in there and it just disappears all in it. But I guess it's mixing it somewhat, paint with the thinner, which is kind of interesting. And this does not smell pleasant. It doesn't smell horrible, but this brush, yeah. Let's get this brush. Try to use the enamel brushes only for the enamel, and we're gonna have to have this handy because I may need a wipe down at any moment. And now it sound like somebody in the home. I may need a wipe down any moment. Oh man, let's see here. Yeah, this is not the thinner I use to clean my brush that I use to put the clear coat on. We do not want to contaminate that clear coat with this. Okay, and that's the only two enamel things I do is I do normally what I would do is I would spray paint this. I'd spray paint this, and then when it was done, I would go in with this and try to get the spots, or go in with the acryl, okay, which is actually water-based. But this thing has gotten so damn elastic. I mean, look, it's even got some on the side. I just don't have a lot of confidence that it's gonna not cover up details. So let's take a look and see how this is behaving this morning. So we're gonna take some of this stuff here and thin it down some. And make sure we don't have it too thin, or it's gonna look like what most figure manufacturers should do to their folks. They should take some of this thin down and just put over their figures. And that way you can tell where all the detail is. And I've actually heard of some people that actually do that for the chainmail. They just run a thin down black, I mean really thin down, and just leave it. They don't even paint the chainmail. So I guess you could do that. But the main thing is we don't want to cover up any detail, because it's got some nice detail here. I don't need it to cover that much. If I use it straight out of the bottle, it's just too darn thick. It's just too darn thick. So, and this is one of the only steps I tend to make a mess because of the splatter. I'll get little black dots in places, but I changed my channel name to the non-messy painter, but I'm not a fan of using a handle or anything. I wouldn't say in real life anyway, so I don't like to say I actually behave better virtually than I do in real life. So, all right. That way we can start working on these guys. I don't know if we're going to get hardly anything done this morning. You guys aren't going to make some progress. We're not going to see any progress until Saturday morning. Saturday morning, we had a successful run last weekend, and that we were able to test that I could do a painting show while all the girls were asleep. So that I'm not waking everybody up from my office. So that worked out okay. So I have a feeling you guys will be able to see some heraldry painting. Heraldry. I have a harder time saying that than I do cavalry. Everybody struggles with the damn cavalry word, but I don't know if I could even say it wrong. But heraldry. See some heraldry painting this weekend. So one of my favorite things to do is painting heraldry. So heraldry and drapes. So we're probably going to paint Eddie first because he's simple. I know what I want to do with him, and he kind of sets the pace for everybody else. I don't want to outpaint the other guys, and then this poor sap ends up, getting looking kind of poor. But he is the younger brother, but he still is going to outrank anybody else that is on the stand with him. Now, the nice thing about this enamel is when I use the acryl as the priming, when I use the acryl, it's water based. So if there's any, it has a higher tendency of creating a little bubble that's going to pop later and going to show the unexposed metal and leave you that gleaming with this one. And I mean, I clean these figures up, but I don't wash the casting. That's too far for me. I'm not going to do all that. So they'll work just fine. So I'm at the point where I don't want to add more steps to my already slow process that takes forever as it is. So because if I have to wash them, then I have to wait for them to dry, and that's just seems silly. I don't want to wait for them to dry, and I've never needed to do it before, so you know, yeah. I'm also not used to enamels. When enamels, after a little while, they become gummy as they dry, and that doesn't happen with acrylics. Well, it does with the Testors Model Master acryls. They do get gummy, but Vallejo doesn't get gummy. It's either dry or it's not dry. So okay, I don't think if we missed a spot, we could go in there and paint it with Vallejo black, and it's not a big deal because it's not going to be somewhere that's going to get touched or rubbed off. It's going to be some nether region of the horse that nobody's ever going to touch in there. So okay, so he's all primed and ready to go. We'll just give this a swish, see what we got. Use silver on my chainmail, then black wash. I don't wash any figures. I don't give them a wash. I used to use the wash in the 90s when I used to do all my 2400 scale ships. They looked great. I went to bed and they looked like shit in the morning because of the whole capillary action. We didn't know about all those other things that we now know about because of the internet. We can share ideas and bad situations with each other or something else. So, but I've always painted with acrylics since the days when I got rid of those tiny little Testors bottles and those which were horrible. And remember the Pactra ones? The Pactras were really crappy because they'd have those tiny little bottles that would have the same enamel paint, but then the inside of them was, instead of being smooth, it had the Pactra paint was horrible way back in the day. We're talking like 1982, 81. Back before I was a teen, when I first started doing painting. The first thing I ever painted was Battleship Bismarck. I had a model 1/600 scale of the Battleship Bismarck, and it was a rebrand of the Airfix kit. Here in the States, we had this model company that was called MPC, and I forget what it stood for, but they made a bunch of the rebranded Airfix kits. So I was big. The first military wargaming type stuff I was into was ships. So I had a Graf Spee and a Bismarck and a was it Achilles? I don't think they made an Exeter. I don't remember if they made both of them. I had a Repulse at the time, but I did have an oil paint set as a birthday present. circa 1982 or something like that. So I'm like, well, okay, well, it's got a variety of colors. I'll just paint the deck of the Bismarck. I'll leave the Bismarck actually the gray color it's molded in, and I painted the deck of the Bismarck in the color I could find closest to uh, to a deck color, which may have been something like this. Okay, I don't remember, but I do remember it was an oil paint, which actually smelled pleasant. I don't mean that from a drug user. I want to smell paints and model glue. So I never did that. That wasn't even a thing. It's like poison. Who the hell wants to smell that, right? But you're working in the environment and that kind of stuff. You realize that it has an oil paints do smell nice. That little bit of a linseed smell. So I'm painting on plastic, and I remember I had it in my closet. It took 2 weeks for it to dry. Um, because they take forever to dry, and now it's on a non-porous thing. So, yeah, that was my first painting experience. I think we've come quite a ways from those days, but so yeah. So, anyways, so we're gonna let this guy sit. And we may mess with these guys in the morning. It's Friday, which is a crazy day for me tomorrow. So we may not be able to get a good jump start on these guys until Saturday morning. But I'm almost certain that we're going to do this guy first because it's really simple to do them. And yeah, so anyhow, that's probably what we're going to start with. Now, one of the things that I had asked on the community blog is doing an unboxing of some of my figures. And the reason isn't really to show off how much of a lead mountain I have, which I still think is tiny compared to some of you substance abusers. Because for me, it's really only in one scale. Well, it's really only in two scales. My 20 millimeter stuff, which we're not going to get into that. My World War II skirmish 20 millimeter that I've had for, I don't know, over 20 years. Those figures, and then all my 15s that I've just gotten since the time period of starting DBA. So going through the lead mountain because I am on a quest to find some sheep. I've got two sheep that I cannibalized off something else, and the reason I want sheep is because I'm lonely. No, the reason I want sheep is because I want to put them in a camp, and now I've lost one of the sheep. Well, he's here somewhere from something else, but I have a pack from, I want to say it was Chariot or Irregular or somebody like that, and it's probably like 12 of them, whatever. I've looked at buying another pack of sheep, but it's just like, I think the Warren Empire ones, the Forged in Battle ones, they want like $22 plus $6 shipping for just sheep and goats. And I'm like, no, I don't want to spend that right now. So I've got to find my sheep. So in doing that, I might as well film my adventures or whatever I can find in there. Now, my bags are sorted somewhat. Like I've got all my late medievals in 2 bags and stuff, but I've got like a Mongol bag where some Chinese may have gotten through there. So I'd like to do it in a format that I can sort through as we go as well and talk about the figures and so forth. So I may do that at some point in the future. But get a shepherd and he will find them. Yeah, well, I got to find out. Model Products Corporation. Okay. I loved NPC kits. Their art that was on them I really liked. And I actually got quite a few free kits because they would have either anchors or chevrons or I think wings. So if you bought an airplane kit, it would come with like a certain amount of like little wings on the side. It was and you would cut out and you would mail them and you'd get a free kit. Like I think I got the Prince Eugen from the anchors, and I don't know, all those Airfix kits as well. So, hi Tony from sunny Sydney. You don't know what sunny is. We're in Sydney. Well, hopefully for you, not for the people running the open bar. That way you can get all ginned up, literally. So that's something I'm thinking about doing maybe in the future, is going through my bags of stuff because I've got to find these goats. These goats are out there causing trouble somewhere. So for sheep tribe prizer, they make civilians for HO railways. Plus you get 5 or 6 sheep plus a shepherd fits most periods. Yeah, but there's no one here that has them. We don't have any stores worth a damn in this town. We got 150,000 people and no useful hobby stores. So if they don't have it at Hobby Lobby, which they don't, no worries. I don't really need a shepherd. I've got guys I could probably use as a shepherd. I've got, hey, who needs a shepherd when I got a priest? What else we got? And look at this guy. This guy looks shepherd-like. Looks like he's beating something. Maybe he could be beating a sheep. Or maybe he could be beating the girl. Hey, this is not a family-friendly channel, so I can just misbehaving. A little boy here, we could have fun with that stuff. I got stuff I can do here. Probably get a peasant. I've got peasants and stuff I can put on there, so I don't have a specific shepherd guy, but we could work with that. But I've got a pack of sheep somewhere, so that's what I'm thinking about doing an unboxing with that and possibly working that in if you guys are interested. So, but it'll be unscripted. I don't want to do a whole lot of editing or what have you. So, and I definitely want to do it over the weekend. We don't have time on the weekdays to do that. So, anyhow, it's 8 minutes until I have to cut off. So there's no point in getting involved in something else. So let's check on see how the dragon eggs are doing. Now these I painted, as I like to call these, the dragon eggs. And we watered down the black craft paint that we use. No big deal, easy to fix. And this one as well. I'm not digging how this is not attached really well. I'm going to have to find a couple of screws, turn this thing upside down and super glue them, and then I can just hold my Gasland cars and stuff like that. And then you can pop that off later. And I'm just not getting a good enough grip on this thing. I want to get this thing all painted nice, and boom, it falls off and gets scuffed up or falls on the ground and chips. God forbid, we don't need to do that. So they don't make these things anymore. This is JR Miniatures goodness there. But yeah, this probably costs 7 times more than this. Because this was a dollar for that joker. So, but anyhow, so that's what we're going to watch football. No, I don't watch sports. No, I got that from my dad. My dad didn't watch sports, so I don't watch sports. And my dad loved history, so I love history, and that's why we're doing this. But my dad wasn't a gamer or anything, so. But no sports for me, so I'm not doing any kind of boycotting or anything. I live in a college football town, so the last thing I want to do is do anything burned out on that. Lived here for almost 40 years, so enough of that. We find out when the game is, and that's when we go shopping. So, yeah, the only football thing I do like is I do like playing the little Xbox games. I do enjoy doing that but you're making decisions. You're not just sitting there watching. But hey, that's me. I'm the exception. So, I'm not going to watch football, and I'm not going to do a cooking show either. Some of you guys were worried I was going to do a cooking show. Nope. You don't want to see it. It'd be a short show. But anyhow, so this is where we're going to stop for the night because I've got to go do something else that can't wait. And but I wanted to show you we got to try those drill bits, and I think we were successful with it. So this weekend, unless tomorrow or Saturday. No, let's see, what's Friday? Unless tomorrow the flag comes in the mail, which it was ordered on the 1st of September from Little Big Man Studios. Okay, what are we at? It'll be September 11th tomorrow. Okay, so 10 days, unless the flag gets here tomorrow. If it does, we're gonna do the Irish Light Horse. If it doesn't, we'll already start working on these, and we're not gonna stop working on this to work on these guys. So, but regardless, that's the order that we're gonna do them in. So, at least that's what the plan is. Apt to change at any moment. So with with no notice, but that's at least what it's looking like. So you guys will be able to see some nights hopefully over the weekend. So, but anyhow, cooking shows are like what? Porno, all very interesting, but you're not going. But you're not going to do it. One of those two is better than the other. But anyhow, so you guys will see some. We should be able to do some filming on Saturday morning. So we should be filming by 6 a.m. our time. So what's that? 11 a.m. in Europe. So for you Europeans, which are most of my viewers, because I guess people can't be bothered with doing this for a while here in the States. We have too many distractions. There's football here, I guess. Anyhow, different football. Anyhow, so we will catch you guys later. I'm not sure if we'll be able to do some filming tomorrow, but if not, it'll be on Saturday morning. So we'll catch you guys then. And anyways, the Bruces say bye, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Happy painting, folks. Bye-bye.